What did you do?
All righty, y'all. So today we're going to get into a fun little program design. Now, in the past, what we've done is we've addressed client case scenarios, but tonight's going to be a unique one because we have a couple of trainers for Show Up that had some questions about helping build and progress their online portfolio. I think it's a really neat opportunity for you guys to see two individuals who are very new in their career. Chandler, she's been, if you had your elevator speech, Chandler, that means 30 seconds or less. Tell us, everyone, a little bit more about yourself and your background.
So I am originally from Illinois, and I had a personal trainer, and long story short, he didn't educate me whatsoever on what to do. So I wanted to, educate myself, and I heard about Show Up, and I moved to California. So now I educate individuals, not only how to move their body, but I teach them like the why are I teach them how to not get injured, and just so they're educated, I guess.
There you go. I love it. All right, Max, you?
Yeah. So my name is Max. I'm from Michigan, moved out to California, San Diego. Absolutely love it. So currently I teach trainers through our Show Up internship program. So I teach them basic movement, anatomy. We go over nutrition as well and other training principles. So teaching them how to actually train properly in a world of trainers that don't know what they're doing. Outside of that, I train individuals one-on-one as well as online.
Nice. So we got two individuals, and this is kind of cool to see where Show Up was and where we are today. So Chandler, when you first started working with us, what year was that? What year did you start training?
2016.
Okay, so we're going to have a fun little challenge, and I think this is a very realistic challenge, which they don't know, but I think that it would be realistic for both of these individuals to build a $50,000 online business in 2021. Now, both of them, how much do you make per month right now, Chandler, online?
Nothing.
Max?
Yeah, zero.
Okay, so we have $0. Now, if you apply the principles of what we teach you and you implement it with extreme focus and you do things like both of these young cats are doing today. So we are on a Friday at 7:30 where they're not like me, which is sucking down some brewskis. They're taking time out of their Friday. And this is something that we've talked about in my book, which is the trainer happiness equation. And one of those things is sacrifice. And I see a lot of trainers who constantly bitch and complain about not making enough money, yet they're blacked out on a Friday, they're partying on a Saturday, and Sunday they're doing the same thing. And so when you look at sacrifice, that's spending a Friday night where you're taking the time to learn more and educate yourself to see how you can set yourself up for success. And there's going to be some crazy statistics that we're going to see in 2021 based off of trainers that were not capable of stomaching the whole epidemic that we're experiencing right now, pandemic, epidemic, whatever. And so I couldn't tell you how many people I've known in the past that quit training due to they thought it was too saturated. And as these two can attest to, the training market is not saturated whatsoever. It needs more educated trainers. And so what happens is you start training at a corporate gym and the statistics say 3 out of 10 is considered success when it comes to signing people up. They're not going to teach you what to do with those other 7. Typically what you're going to find is trainers become very transactional. So they don't sign up, they don't give a shit about them. So they just focus on those 3. They're not that great of trainers. They don't know anatomy. They don't know programming, what you guys are learning through these case examples. And they don't have the professionalism or the service aspect to maintain a business. And so they're constantly in this hustle. We're hustling, we're grinding, all that stupid shit you hear today with those hashtags. But when you're a smart trainer like these two, what you're able to do, one, you're going to have a higher closing rate, which Max takes on more clients just because of the amount that he's able to control in San Diego. Chandler doesn't take on as many clients, but he's had more assessments probably in the last year than Chandler has. And he's closed, I think, maybe all of them, maybe not one. Whereas the average trainer is going to get maybe 30%. So what you can do is you're going to start getting opportunities to develop an online business. Now, the common question that this is what actually started this talk tonight was Chandler had someone reach out to her and he wanted to start going through your programming. And so you post consistently throughout your page. And this is actually an interesting little comparison. So let's actually go to the tube real quick and let's check out. If you guys don't know Google Trends, that's a great thing to check out. You can contrast different search words. So like on YouTube, if I were to do low back pain as the first part of the search engine, it's actually very low. Back pain would be a better one. So it's a kind of a cool thing. You can change up the search too, like web search, Google search. Interesting stuff there with the Google Trends. But let's take a look at Chandler Mikos. How do you say it?
Micus.
Micus. So let's check her out on Instagram. There she is. Look at those big earrings. I love it. And we have Chandler. She did a show recently. Here's her page. She has close to 800 followers. Then we got Madman Max, Sabo, IG. Let's see of those. Now, is that you, Max, or no?
No, do maxed out fitness. Come on.
Do Max what?
Maxed out fitness. Just gonna pull up
out fitness.
There you go.
No, maxed out. Which one is it, Max?
Max.out.fitness.
See, so you can tell you right now that Max is probably newer to this than Chandler is. Maxed out fitness, I think is this guy.
There you go.
All right, so we have 11, almost 1,200 followers. Nice. And he just got his page released, which is great. Look how small he looks there. That's okay though. Good. So when you look at these two, I would classify them as not having a ton of followers. And that's perfectly all right. As you know, if you've listened to Danny do her talks, that it's not about the amount, it's the quality of your followers. So the fact that you could potentially have, I mean, let's do, Max, if you were to have a program that you want to sell online, what would you like to sell it for?
Like an ebook or something?
No, like a program.
How to get biceps like Max in 10 days.
Like
$50.
So $50, and say that Max is crushing it with his client penetration, 1,200. He has 50% of that. He's going to get 50 times 600. That'd be $30,000. That would be a significantly high one. Whereas you could have someone who has 50,000 followers, but their client penetration is only 1%, 0.01, still 500 people. And then you times that 500 by 50 is 25,000. So the person with the more followers but lack of penetration may not be potentially doing as well with someone who has more engagement. So you two both do a good job of getting your clients engaged. But let's talk about real quickly Chandler, the client who recently reached out, and then we're going to go through how we can begin to design and develop a online portfolio so you can be successful.
It's like crazy because I mean, this one girl named I don't know if Max, you follow her name is like Ruba Ali, or she's the founder of like Evolve Nation or whatever, and it's like she sells all her plans on one of her sites like $1, and then after a month it's like $19.99. But that's great, you know. She has like 1 million followers, so they're probably like $1.
Have you bought one of her programs?
No.
I think you should, because I guarantee they're fucking terrible. And that's
right, but that's smart for doing it for $1.
No, well, is it smart, or is it the free market that we have within fitness, and people will take any amount of money? And so, and I'm always having fun with different tweaks that I can come up with. And I really do think there's certain things that you can simply stereotype, and you can say, like, if I see someone doing a fucking burpee, I would bet my life they don't have a fucking program. If I see someone doing some stability ball, BOSU ball bullshit, I would bet that they're not a good trainer. And I'm not talking about their client results. You got to remember, results from clients are 50-50. Look at fucking Jared, the pedophile is in prison right now, right? How did he lose all of his weight? He fucking walked a shit ton, and he ate Starbucks. What did he eat? 6 foot Subway, yeah. Is that how you have to get in good shape? No, he just moved a lot. So you could have a trainer who takes on a client who just got divorced, and so she's super motivated. So that motivation is what's driving her, and then the trainer's just there, and then that person gets results. It's not because of the trainer, it's because of her own motivation. So you take a lot of these online trainers, half of them, if not significantly more, don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're just putting shit on the wall. People do it, and then they get decent results. And so I don't care about them, and we shouldn't be comparing ourselves to other people. We should be looking at how can we get to this $50,000? Because if you're not making this right now online, there's a big opportunity to be able to do that. And that could be potentially supplementary. Now, I just talked about a challenge that I just did, no days off challenge. I needed to make a little extra cash for 2021 because I need to get my big truck that Max is going to help me get. And so I said, I need $5,000. I need to just put in the bank for payments. And so I'm like, okay, this was on the 23rd or 24th of December. I need to make $5,000. How can I make $5,000 ASAP? All right. So with the followers that I have, I need to do some type of coaching plan where they're going to work directly with me, 5 people, and it has to be paid up front. So I threw something together very quickly, put it out there. Within 2 days, I got it out there. And then 10 days later, I got my 5 clients. And so I had a need. I quickly put something together, and then I marketed it very quickly, and I was able to do that. Now, we need to do the same for you guys, where you're newer in the game. Now, Chandler has the advantage because, and this is an interesting little concept, like a fight, right? So we got Chandler, team girl, and you got Max, team guy. And it's, perfect little scenario with the 2001 turmoil that's always going on, 2021. So Chandler's been a trainer longer, but Max has more going for him in the sense that he has his website developed. And so Chandler, take us through this experience with the guy who reached out to you and wants to work with you.
Well, he ended up never responding back, so that was that. But it's okay. He reached, because in my story I'll put like, oh, what can I help you with, and then they respond, and he said, yeah, it was so cute. He's like, oh yeah, he's like, I don't know if it's holiday weight-gain or my calories, and I just said, hey, it could be many components, it's not just one. I said, but also, my Fitness Pal is a great app, for you to track. And he said, I think he was like, oh, okay. And then I just asked him like, what are his goals? And he just said, yeah, I want to lose weight. And then I said, can you schedule a call? Well, I asked him like what his time zone was, because I knew he wasn't like from here. And then he's like, oh, well, then he asked me, he's like, oh, so what do you normally charge for coaching? And then that's when I reached out to you. And then I just told him like on like the Instagram, like I didn't even schedule a call with him, because I just said, oh, normally I'm 300 and I do an in-depth, macros and, training programming. I said, but if you post and this, I said, for the next month, I'll do it for 150. And then I said, or another option is I do nutritional consultation. So for every hour, it's 100. I said, what choice would you be interested in? So we can go over, and nothing.
Good. And I love that, because especially, so it's almost like 2 different types. Now, call this sexist, call it whatever the hell you want to, but Max, I think, needs to approach his clients a little different than Chandler. The reason being because she's a girl, especially when you have a guy reaching out. You're getting a lot of fucking pervy dudes out there. They want to get your number. They want to, can we do a weird Skype? So it's like, you got to put those numbers out there right away to see if they're truly serious. And so the fact that you put it out there and he didn't respond is great, because you just eliminated a creep. And so when someone does reach out, you should put your prices out there. Now with Max.
Really? Oh, I don't know. I thought maybe you're supposed to go on a call with them.
Nope. With Max, when people reach out, you want to get them on the call, because their intent is way different. Unless you get some 50-year-old cougar in La Jolla, and you do what you want to do with that. But it's the unfortunate thing about the fitness industry. Julia, for example, she was an intern that we had. She has over 4.5 million followers, and she had a guy reach out to her, and she was really excited. She said, Chris, he wants to work with nutritional consultations, because I mentioned that in my call or my post or whatever. Can you talk to him? I said, did you tell him that I'm going to talk to you? She said, no, but he's interested in nutrition. I said, Juliet, I love your ignorance, but I guarantee you, once you tell him that I'm going to work with you, he's going to fall off. And so she did a 3-way connection with text, And oh, hey, this is my coach. He's gonna help you today. He said, oh, thank you so much. And then we went off on a one-on-one. And I said, how can I help you with nutrition goals? He's like, actually, now I think about it, I don't really need it. He didn't give a shit about me. He wants to, his fantasy, whatever, with this individual. And so it's unfortunate. And that's one of the bad things about how it is today, that girls do have the shit end of the stick with pervy guys. And so I would say for you, you can kind of check people out. And I mean, fuck, if you can't look at someone's photo, and if they have a screenshot like this, and then it's like, it's a sign right there. You probably want to be a little concerned with it, which the guy did have. So it's just move on. But what I want to talk about today is how we can help you guys get that money. And so when you work backwards from 50,000 to per month, you're looking at $6,000 a month. So how are you going to be making $6K a month? That's what we need, and it helps to have numbers. Now, if you don't have numbers, which you guys don't, I mean, you don't have 30, 40, 50,000 followers. And so this is where, as a trainers get in trouble, is you go through the corporate world and you focus just on one-on-one training. And then what happens is you don't like it. So then you want to get out, and then you try to start building your online. So you guys got to look at your week, and you got to look at your day, and you got to spend at least 30 minutes per day trying to grow your online business. And that's stuff that Dana can help you with. And she gives you suggestions on following, commenting, blah, blah, blah. But that's just part of the business. It's like, you're trying to build a farm. It's not just about watering. It's about a lot of different things. And you got to constantly think about that. And so if you're not consistently writing your stuff down, I can't tell you how, I'm a weirdo. I carry my big ass schedule with me wherever I go. I got something I'm writing it down. Oh, this is what I got to do today. This is what I got to do tomorrow. You need to constantly see that. And so I challenge you both, even though you may not like social media, but for 30 minutes every day, go to a page of someone who you think could be competition. So Chandler, you're more in the bikini world. What I would find is someone in San Diego or Los Angeles with these shows. Don't roll your eyes, and go through.
No, I was looking at me.
There you go. Whether if it's Team Edge, go through those pages, click on a girl. Oh my God, you look so beautiful. Love your suit. So simple. Like it, follow, go to someone else. And if you were to do that regularly, and this is what's important to do, which we don't do, so this is why we get frustrated. Right now, first time in my life, I've never done this, but I'm writing down how many pages I read per day. It's really neat to see week per week that some days, I tell myself every day I want to get a minimum of 10. But some days I'll get, the highest I've had so far is 81. The low I've had, which will probably be today, maybe like 20. But overall, the whole entire week, my average has been close to 400. So that means each week I'm getting that book per week, which I'm trying to do. But I look at my averages, some are high, some are low. And so when you look at your week, you go, okay, I need to follow X amount of people. You got to write that down. If you just say it in your mind, I got to follow. Shit's going to, the mirror comes across. Oh, I'm going to look in the mirror for 30 minutes. So there's so many distractions that are going to present themselves, but you see it on paper, like, oh shit, that's what I got to do. And so what's going to happen is these numbers are going to continue to grow while you're focusing on getting potential one-on-one online clients. And so what we want from this is to be charging an amount. Now, what do you guys think you want to charge for your business?
Like, I guess it really depends on what you're offering someone. Like if it's a brief program, or if it's more in depth, if you're like, okay, I'm gonna where to go exactly about reps, and because I feel like it's gonna be more, obviously, the more in depth it is. And then if they just want, something just to help them, it's cheaper. So I don't know, $20.
So Chandler, if you came to me as your instructor and you were paying for the class, and I already give you option A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and they're all different a little bit by a little bit. The first one's going to be the cheapest. The last one's going to be the most expensive. What's going through your mind is a lot of confusion. Like, oh, which one should I do? Blah, blah. When you make it simple, you want A or B. There's only two options. And so that's what you can present to them. Do you want to just training one-on-one, or do you want nutritional consultations? Which one would you like? And that's it. If they say I want them both, great, we have that package. It's going to be 300, where what I'll do is design you a whole month workout, and then we'll do nutritional consultations as well, which include a thorough analysis of your food. You're going to take photos of that. You're going to do a food log, and then we're going to do a macro calculation. That was one of the things I said, that If a coach gives you a macro breakdown without even talking to you, they're a fucking idiot. Macros are stupid. If someone just says, oh, Max, you should be on a 40-30-30 carb, fat, protein. No, that's terrible. You got to ask the proper questions. And so you can look through shitty programs, and if they say, I'm going to give you a macro breakdown, say, what is that? If it's truly breaking down what the individual needs, that's what's going to help them. And so for each one of you, you got to look at how much time, and I talk about this in the trainer happiness equation when it comes to sacrifice. How much time right now are you guys spending developing your online programming per week?
None.
Okay, none. Max?
Last couple, well, leading into this week, like with my website, I'd say a few more hours.
Good. Good.
Nothing crazy at all.
So what we want to do is we want to try to develop a program, not even a program, but a plan where you have stuff set out. And this is and this isn't that long, but you go through your programs with, okay, so you guys can see this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Simple 40-year-old workout. So I just signed up this girl who hopefully she doesn't watch this video, but I am going to design these programs for her, but I'm just going to take her age bracket and she wants to work out 3 times a week. This is what I'm going to give her. I'm going to modify it to make it her own. I'm going to put in here like, oh, Plank, make sure to tag me. Yeah, I did a post today in our story and I did some push-ups and I tagged her. So I personalized that. So it's not like I'm gypping her by any means, but how much time did this take me? 0. Today, it took me time when I didn't have time. So like right now, you guys can be going through your hypothetical clients who you want to be working with. So Max, you have a client, Aaron, middle-aged dude who wants to put some size on. Write out a 3-week program, write out a 4-week program, which is, as you know, super simple. You do upper body, lower body, you do full body those 3 days. Maybe you do an extreme and you do a 5-day. So the fact that you put that work in now, you have it on paper. And so then in the future, when that person does come in, and, you know, best case scenario, you have 5, 6 inquiries and someone says, you know, I want to work with you and I want you to go through my program or whatever. And I work out 3 days. You just pull this person up. Here's your 4-day. Here's your 3-day. Here's your hypertrophy for a bro. Here's glutes for a girl. This is the program I did for Chandler right here. And then you have all these scenarios. So then it just makes your life so much easier. And so trainers don't think in the future. What we do is we typically think right now. And so when you design that stuff today, you're going to be so much more prepared in the future. So it's very simple to put that stuff out there. So the leg work is what's really important to start doing, because you guys have that ability today with the leg work. If you were to spend 30 minutes per day doing the outreach, 30 minutes per day doing the program, can you guys honestly tell me if you have an hour that you could invest per day for the next month doing that?
100%.
Yeah, so I mean, it's on you. I mean, it's not like I'm gonna get mad at you if you don't do it. I mean, this is an opportunity where, do you have bills that you want to pay? Do you have student debt that you need to pay off? Do you have rent that you need to pay? And how cool would that be as a newer trainer relatively to be able to pay that off with not actually working that much by doing it online? I think online it's unique because some people will say you shouldn't be an online trainer for 3 or 4 years until you have experience. And I disagree with that, because I think if you're a great trainer and you understand anatomy and movement and you're a teacher of trainers like you guys are, you can start doing that ASAP. And if you think of it right now, do you have one person who you could potentially reach out to that you've had some type of connection with, whether it's a prior client or someone who could be interested, just to get them into a conversation to potentially get a $100 client? And I guarantee you can think about it and you can find someone. And so what you do is you reach out to them. And what do you think would be something you could, via text, you could say to them? A client you used to train in the past, or a buddy or a friend?
Like asking like a good question, like, hey, what are you currently doing? Like, are you on any current exercise program or diet program? You know, and maybe like, what are your goals? Depending on how well I know them or where they're at. You know, if it's like someone I knew who was an athlete or something, I would say, hey, you know, like, he's still training hard, blah, 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 this and that, just to kind of get a gauge of where they're at. Because then they have to actually reflect on themselves versus just like, hey, do you want to get do you want coaching? I think that's a little It's not, they're like, obviously, okay, this guy just copy and pasted this and sent it to
Mhm.
everybody.
Yeah, Chandler?
So me and Justin have been kind of like texting. Oh, well, we found cool. And I was just gonna ask him, I was like, hey Justin, 2021, because he'll always be like, oh, I want to work out, but it's an excuse. I'll be like, come on, this is you just gotta motivate him and just say something like, is this the year you're actually gonna, put in the work, or you're gonna let your excuses, take over? And I think something like that could help someone. I mean, it might
Good.
not, but I
And
think
so
it can,
you got, this is what's tough, is you got to go through and reflect on your text messages and how you're communicating with this person. And so if you've been kind of passive, you got to be more aggressive. So for you with Justin, it needs to be very direct. Justin, really excited. I picked up 3 new clients. I got 1 more spot. Would you like to train with me in person, or would you like to train with me online? Which one would it be? Simple. He gets that decision. Your mind is going to go through, well, no, he's not going to say anything. Whatever you think, he's not going to think. He's not going to say it.
I know.
You present it, and then he makes a decision. When you give someone a decision, imagine this if you went to a store or a restaurant. Would you like the pizza or enchilada? I want the roasted boar. No, they're going to make a decision on what you give them. And so you present that to him, and then you see what he says, and you give an answer. And you're going to think like, oh, he's going to say, no, he's not. He's going to say, I'm thinking online is going to be best for me. Awesome. I'm doing a New Year's deal right now. Normally it's $500 per month. I'll do it for you for $200. Do you want to do weekly Zoom calls? Do you want to do monthly Zoom calls? What's going to work best for you? So you be very, very direct. Now, Max has a client who I can think of, at least when he came through Show Up, he's now in Washington. No harm, no foul, reaching out to him. Hey, Happy New Year, lawyer guy. How's everything going? Handling COVID all right? That's it. Let him respond back. Let him remember, Max trainer in La Jolla. He reaches back out. How are your at-home workouts going? After he responds back to you. I just launched my website. I think it'd be great to hop on a call to see how I can help you achieve your goals in 2021. So now at least you have a lead who you can get in front of you. And then you get him on the call, you see how he's doing. It's like with this technology today, there was a great article in finance about Zoom. It's like, is Zoom here to stay, or is it here to go? It's like, prior to the COVID, people would literally fly out for interviews. People would fly. It's like, this is saving the world right now. This is something that I'm hoping is going to be around because I invested in it. But it's like, Zoom is pretty cool where people are literally training on this now. So if he says you got a guy in front of you and he wants your help, you say, no, hey, Frank, I can design a program for you. And it's actually really cool too. You may not think, but I can train you on here. When you were here in La Jolla, it was $150 an hour. I can do hourly sessions once or twice a week, $75. And I'll check you out the whole entire time. I'll give you motivation. You put your little thing in there and we'll be good to go. So now you put your site on $100 per hour, but he trains you twice a week. You just got $600. You're chipping away at that $50,000 per year just online. So Zoom is an amazing thing. It's about reflecting seriously on people who may be interested. And if there's someone who's not interested, but they want to get the results, that's when you can offer, like we were mentioning before, Tim, the free training. So let's pretend like, let's just use someone who we know, Casey. And Casey is someone who you know, and she has some connections, but she doesn't have any money. So you could reach out to her and say, Casey, how are your New Year's resolutions going? And then you make it very just to the point. She responds back to you, I don't do those because whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I got an opportunity for you to get in the best shape of your life in 2021. That sounds kind of corny, but check this out. I will do Zoom calls with you 3 times a week. I'm going to help you get into the best shape by being your trainer. Here's what we're going to do in exchange. I want you to post in your story. I want you to reach out to this person. I want you to help me out because I'm trying to grow my brand. And I think trainers get really caught up in their own head that they don't realize that people want to help us. When you tell your client legitimately that you want to grow your brand, I would love to get the statistic. How many of your clients know what your 1, 3, 5 year plan is? I'd be willing to bet most clients have no fucking clue because we think that, oh, they think it's a stupid idea or they don't want to hear about it. Are you kidding me, Max? You actually remember this because Max, the other trainer, Max, came to the gym where you're at right now, And he talked about that his elderly clients, they train with him just to hear his stories about going on dates and shit. It's like their own reality TV show. They want to help you. They want to learn more about you. So you got to put it out there. Hey, Justin, my goal is to make $100,000 this year online. I think you could be a really cool transformation for me. I want to help you, but I need your help too. Do you think you'd be willing to help me? We get caught up thinking, oh, they're not going to want to do it. They're too busy. Fuck that. You can't put those false thoughts in your head. You have to ask. Mm-hmm. And when you have a coalition working with you, you're going to be 10 times more effective versus all the sleazy shit that people are doing online. So we have two trainers here today that both have tremendous opportunities and potential to make we're not even talking about really money here. They can make a lot of money, but they're very knowledgeable. They have the foundation. They're smart. They know their anatomy. Their intent is good. You guys should be crushing it. Whereas the person who you said earlier, she could be crushing it and more likely is, but she's a fucking idiot. Mm-hmm. And that's what pisses me off, because all these trainers out there, they have zero credentials, or even worse, they do have credentials. I'm a certified fucking trainer. Oh, great. What does that mean? It's literally a piece of fucking paper you can stick up your ass because it's worthless. So you guys are knowledgeable, and you should be making the money that shows that you are a fitness professional. But it comes down to a big thing, which is just action and doing it and planning. And I'll tell you right now, when I was your guys' age, I was not that person. I was not a planner. It's almost like regret that I have, because I see you two and I see there's so much potential that you have. And it's like, oh, I wasn't doing it at their age. I didn't have a coach. I didn't have someone who could direct me. You guys have that opportunity now. And you're very similar in age. I think Chandler's a couple of years older than Max, but you guys can do it. It's just a matter of if you want to do it. So what do you guys see as the biggest hurdles that are going to come up with this plan of trying to get more online business?
For me, I think it'll be more like on the front end with, I'll call it marketing, because that's what social media is, right? It's social media marketing. Because I really enjoy actual training and working with people, whether it's online or in person. And I love teaching, but my biggest hurdle is definitely social media and making sure that I'm actually consistent with it and making people, making it aware of what I offer, right? My services. And that's part of it, right? Like, I can say I hate social media as much as I want to, but at the end of the day, it's a tool that I really I need to use and to be consistent with it, and to put content out there and to, provide value to people for free, because I know anyone that I've bought a program online from or a product, this or that, I know that I'm going to get value out of what I spend my money towards, because they've already given me value for free, right? So that gives me confidence in buying. So I want to do the same, essentially, for people to be able to come to my page or my website and they can say like, wow, this guy knows what he's talking about, which I do, of course, right? And teaching, and, that gives me confidence in, training and everything that comes with that. But just actually marketing that out on social media for me is, I think, my biggest opportunity.
Chandler?
You asked what the biggest hurdle would be into getting clients. I think just in my head, I have like thousands of different scenarios, and I'm like, oh, what if this, and I just can't do that. Like, I just have to. Well, I've been consistent, posting on Instagram, but I don't know, I need to come up with something better. Like, I think, making an actual page, like a website, like that could be way more beneficial than me just posting like a random.
Do every day, Chandler. Sorry to cut you off, but
what?
You could work on giving yourself more affirmations every day. So it's like every day, wake up and write down 3 things that you are proud that you've done in the last year. And you're not going to be able to do that. So maybe you need to text someone, and text me, text your mom, whatever, and be like, I need some affirmations. And so you compete in the show. You write that down?
Yeah, I started a journal now. Okay.
Good. That's awesome. So you got to keep on telling yourself. And it's like,
you look good too. You competed in a show and you did good. You're ahead of me. See?
You not only did good, you got first place, and that's pretty significant. And
not yet.
And you got third over. Sorry, I thought you got first in your class, but you
got second.
Second. There you go.
The second show.
The first show, that's really good.
No, the first show third, then the second one second. So third
No,
one.
but look at
be
how
first.
many people do a show just so they can post it on their story about how happy they are. Oh yeah, I'm
I
happy.
didn't
when I
post
went
it at
to-"
all.
I know. So it's just the difference in how people are. People do it for vanity reasons. You did it because you're
Yeah.
scared of getting out of your comfort zone. So
Yeah.
something that I would challenge you both to do would be look at the hurdles that could potentially present themselves in the future. So it's like, I know, Max, you have a little bit of student debt. Well, what happens if you don't pay off student debt? It just starts going even higher and higher. So, 12 months from now, what if that student debt hasn't gone down at all? That's one option. Option B would be, what happens if you're able to pay off that student debt by doing online training and optimizing that? That'd be pretty cool. So Chandler, you want to move to Las Vegas. So how would you feel if you're able to move to Las Vegas and be able to pay for your rent with online training? Whereas right now, you're not making any money online, where if you're able to generate $2,000 online, which is very reasonable. I have more experience than both of you, and that's not an excuse, but I was able to generate it. But I also have a following. I also put the context, not the context, but the work in for the content, because content is so important. I don't fucking like social media. I do all that stuff. It's like I put on a facade. It's like, you guys ever watched the movie with Jim Carrey back in the day? It was called The Truman Show.
Oh yeah, such a good one.
So it's like, that's like social media today, right? I put on a facade. And you'll notice I'm not a big talker in my story. I don't talk a lot like a lot of these fucking people do, where they're in there for 15 frames. I may talk about after a run, but I do it because I just want to put a little motivation in there. But I don't like social media. I use it as a means to an end. It's not like I'm using people, but I understand the value of it. But I know that if you look back at what I've done because of Danny from 2019, when we first met in the beginning, to where we're at now, the work that I've put in, which is hundreds of hours, has generated well over probably $250,000. And so I look at that and I'm like, fuck, that's motivation. That's motivation to do. Imagine if I was not fucking around and looking at all the dumbass people on Instagram, which we're all guilty of. What if I were to use that time to truly try to build my brand even more, and I turn that 250 into 500,000 to $1 million? Well, then I don't have to work as much. I can focus on things I really want to do, which is help younger trainers, help teachers, help people really become better. And so social media, all it is a means to an end. And if you use it for that, like when you go on and say, okay, I'm going to go on there for 30 minutes and I'm going to not respond to any fucking people. I'm just going to go out there, follow, I'm going to comment, and I'm going to work on growing my brand. And I think that there's a lot of people out there right now that don't realize that you guys are taking on online clients. So tell that in your story. When you're walking one day, say, hey guys, right now, New Year's resolution, I want 3 clients who I can help transform in 2021. I got 1 already, Fabricate the Truth. I'm looking for 2 more. And then see, like I got this girl who just signed up the other day, sent me $1,000. I'm like, who the fuck is this chick? Carrie from San Diego. She's been following me for 3 years, apparently. No idea who she was. Never, ever talked to her before. But she's like, oh my God, this challenge sounds so cool, blah, blah. And she told me a huge paragraph. I'm like, never knew who she was, but she's one of our followers. So if I wouldn't have posted that challenge, and if I didn't do it a couple times, I would have never met Carrie. I'm very confident that Carrie's gonna get the best shape of her life this year because of that simple post. And so you guys got to think of it like that, where you're going to meet someone who you're able to change their life because both you guys want to help someone, and you're not going to get in front of someone by not putting it into your stories.
Listen, yeah, that's to say, you have to like make it known, because no one's going to assume that you do online training unless if you post something and they might be like, oh shit, I didn't even know you even trained online.
I would encourage both of you to do things that you're not consistently doing. So for Max, the challenge for you would be to talk in your story just maybe once or twice a week. I know you don't do that right now. Chandler, a challenge for you would be to do an Instagram Live. Maybe to hop on there and maybe you do an Instagram Live with Danny. You reach out to her. I know you always think people don't want to help you, but hey, Danny, I would really like to get some advice on how I can optimize my website. Do you think we could do an Instagram Live? Max, now you know Danny pretty well. Do you think she's going to say, fuck off, Chandler?
No, she'll help you with it.
She can help you with it. And then you're going to, and ask Danny, when you have her on the thing, how long did she harass Max on to do his website on? Look at that. How long did she get on you for that for?
A long time, all the time.
Hmm.
But the way she communicates with me is very different with others. So she's
Sure.
much more harsh with me, and like, this sucks. You need to do that, this and that. But I like that personally. I don't take it personally. I enjoy it, but I got it done. And so it's
Yeah, Max.
too is asking specifics. Like, I've learned that asking for help, don't just be like, what should I do? Like, what do you mean? Like, make it very specific. What should I add this to this section? Should I change this? Like, everything should be more direct, because then it shows you've actually thought it through, right? Versus like, give me all the answers.
So is there anything that I can help you guys with this plan?
Go ahead, Shan.
Well, I'm just trying to think. I mean, so I'll just make a website first, right? Or just make like a layout of what I would potentially give someone, like make all different plans, like if for my potential clients. So I do like one for someone who wants to put on muscle or to lose weight or like all that, right?
So if someone clicks on you right now, Chandler, with your 2,500 followers, thank
They
you,
gain
because
one.
they come to me. So maybe this girl that signed up with me for $1,000, maybe she came from your page. You don't know. So how do they find you? Who is? Okay, so we got some.
Who are you- why
Whoa,
is
Chandler.
that wrong?
That's Chandler, really? Whoa, look at that.
Why is that
ExploreTalent.com. What are you doing, Chandler?
Wow.
Wait,
Well,
why?
now we learned some stuff about Chandler. So,
Wow. What's the next movie you're in?
yep, that's so this is what we have. We can't find you on. So how is a potential client
What do
going
you
to
mean
find
you
you?
can't find me? Like there's some pic.
So
Oh, it's
what
on
if
the medium.
what
That's
if they're they can go
that's
here?
funny. Those donuts are from that my medium
Yeah.
account.
So if you were to put your own website, it's the first thing to pop up here, and then they can learn more about you, because I can't learn much about you
yeah.
from this. So right now, what are you? And Danny will be
Yeah.
just say, who the fuck is Chandler? She's education of what?
Yeah, I guess.
You teach them about results
I
of
know.
education, of training, or what? So
I
this
know,
is where your ego gets in the way, and you don't think that people want to help you, but she'll spice this up in 2 seconds. So whereas, okay, and I think it's a really good opportunity for you guys to if you're still watching, but you look at Maxed Fitness IG, and you see Max's thing. The difference is Max helps people get strong and teach personal trainers how to maximize their potential. I think that's pretty thorough. I know what Max is going to help me with. Not about excuses.
Shout out to Danny for helping me with that.
So, and then, okay, well, I'm going to learn more about him. And then boom, we're good to go.
Well, yeah.
So it's a simple translation from 1 to 2. And it's don't think of it as like, oh, Chris is getting down on me. This is an opportunity for you to reflect on this next week, take some action, reach out to Danny. She'll take care of this and she's going to help you. And do it on live, do it on a Zoom call, because people need to see this more, where there's great trainers out there. They're just not marketing themselves well. And you're not posting, TNA right and left. So you don't have followers through the woo-ha like that. So just take some time to do that, and then you'll be good. And so whatever I can help you guys with, if this is not, and for those that are watching, if you thought it was going to be like an exact A through Z plan, it's to show you two people who want to get clients, but now there's some action behind it. We need to do some things that are scheduling based. There's action behind it. You need to be consistent with reaching out, following people, commenting. People who reach out to them and ask questions. Don't do it kind of vaguely. Like, hey, how's everything going? It's not a very good text. Happy New Year. How are your New Year's going? It's Max from Show Up Fitness. Way different. So then they know who it is, and they know what your intent is. They write back, and then you can go through that, and you're going to have some action plans behind that. So we got some work to do. I think this would be even better to follow up once a month to see how you guys are doing. And the accountability is huge. And then when you have these little sessions, you know that you got to get something done, but use your own motivation and your own things that can help you guys grow. So it's going to be, I think for Max, maybe it's, let's just say it's student debt, and for Chandler, it's going to say paying your rent, and then you guys will be in a way better spots than we are now. We all can grow. Anything else I can help you guys with tonight? Hopefully this was helpful.
All right. I'm too fired up right now. I'm ready for round 2 of bench.
You gotta get that 225. All right, so Max, we're gonna work out tomorrow. We'll get some good weight done, and then Chandler, we'll follow up with you and keep going. All right.
Okay. All right.